I never seen such desolation. I think we drove for a mile and there wasn't a building hardly standing.
Nobody knew what was going on. They called the situation fluid, but fluid means that nobody knew anything.
It was different. If I had done something else, I don't know what I would have done.
We're talking today with Bob Samuels of Jenison, Michigan, and the interviewer is James Smither of the Grand Valley State University Veterans History Project. Okay, Bob, can you start us off with just some background on yourself? Where and when were you born?
Okay, I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Lived there till I was 10 years old. Moved to Granville.
And what year were you born?
1930.
Okay. So you lived there till 1940, then you moved to Granville?
Wow.
All right. Now, how long did you stay in school?
Till the 10th grade.
Okay. And so then what year did you leave school? 45, 6?
I don't remember. Probably 46.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you remember about World War II while it was going on?
Oh, not too much. I remember the day it ended because I heard it on the radio, but that's about all I know about World War II.
So you didn't really follow it a lot?
No.
Otherwise?
No.
Now, okay, now you leave school before you graduate, and then what kind of work did you do?
I went to construction, home building, and did that. A friend of mine wanted to join the Marine Corps. Talked me into doing that.
All right. And then, so that was what year?
In 1948.
Okay. Now, once you decide to go and sign up, what happens next?
Well, I went the next day and went right from there, took a physical, went down to Parris Island.
Where did you do the physical?
In Detroit.
In Detroit, all right.
Yeah.
Now, was it much of a physical, or did you just show up and...
No, it's pretty good physical, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you tell if there were people maybe who were being rejected or sent home? Or was everybody passing?
No, there were some rejected, yeah.
Okay. And then, okay, then how did they get you down to Parris Island?
Train.
Okay. And do you remember anything about that trip?
No. It was a pretty good train trip, but I remember when we got there, it was so hot, you know.
Now, was there a station right at the camp, or did you get off somewhere else and take a bus, or?
No, they had a bus. Marine Corps had their own buses. They picked us up, took us back to the base.
And at what point did they tell you you were in the Marine Corps and they meant business?
As soon as we got there.
Yeah, what kind of reception do you get there?
Not very good. Just hollering and yelling at you all the time. Tell you how to field strip a cigarette. And if you would be walking nowhere, everything was going to be double time. So.
Now, were you expecting that kind of treatment when you got there?
No.
I mean, what did you know about the Marines when you joined them?
Not a lot, no. So we just went through the procedure, go there, they give us showers, haircuts, shave your head. But it was just, it was go-go the whole time, you know, 14 weeks or whatever it was.
Right. Now, aside, so you're marching places, are you running a lot?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything was running. You didn't walk.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what other kinds of training did you get there?
So, I don't know. It was rugged training, a lot of marching, field trips.
And did you get weapons training then?
Yeah, firing range, weapons training, a lot of that.
Okay. And what kind of weapons did you shoot?
M1s.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they didn't get you into machine guns or
No,
other things like that?
No. We only had schooling on it, but that was it, yeah. And not actually handling them.
All right. And now, did you get sort of bivouacs, or were you out overnight? And
Yeah,
that kind of
a couple times. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how easy or hard was it for you to adjust to all of that?
It was pretty hard, but yes, it is. You're looking forward to the day you got graduated. You know?
Now, were you in good shape when you went in?
I thought so, yeah.
But were you in better shape when you finished training?
A lot better when you got done.
All right. Now, while you were there, were there guys who couldn't make it, who washed out of the training?
A couple of them. One guy, a pitiful guy, he wasn't coordinated. He say left, right, he'd go the opposite, you know. He just I had to let him go. So that's only what I remember.
As far as you know, when you went in, were all of the guys enlistees? Had any of them been drafted?
I think they were all listed.
At that point in time, 1948.
Yeah, they weren't drafted too many.
Right. Okay. Now, once were they giving you tests or things, or were they asking you what maybe other training you wanted?
No.
It was all really. Infantry.
Yeah, they tested you for certain things, but that was it.
Okay. Now, at the end of boot camp then, what did they do with you?
They sent me to a Camp Lejeune, another base, and they sent me down there, and then I went into training in water supply, trained for that.
Water supply training. Now, what did that consist of?
Well, furnishing water in the field, distilling salt water if you're on a beach, otherwise purifying fresh water. Yeah.
Okay. And now, was that a very complicated thing to learn, or just running a machine or two?
No, it's pretty easy to learn. Yeah. And the worst part was the salt water. You had to distill salt water. That was quite a job because you had to clean those things out, and that salt got in there, packed. You know. But outside of that wasn't too bad.
All right. And how long did that training last?
About 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you finish that. It's getting kind of later in the year now. What happens to you next?
Well, I stayed right. Well, we went on maneuvers a couple of times down to off of Cuba, Vegas Island, down there, and pulled maneuvers.
And when you went on maneuvers, did you practice amphibious landings?
Oh yeah.
And what did you do for that? When you're doing a landing, what are you doing?
Well, you just wait to you go over into a landing craft, ride the ropes and go ashore, and then just pull them down and you go out. Get out in the water and walk up shore. That's about it.
Because sometimes when people were practicing with landing craft and so forth, the seas might be rough, or people might fall in the water, that kind of thing. Or, but was it pretty safe when you did it?
Yeah, I didn't see nobody get hurt.
All right. Now, at the time you went in, were you figuring just on staying in for your 3 years and then going home, or?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, that's the plan. All right, but now were you assigned then to an engineer unit at Camp Lejeune? Was that your job at that point?
Yeah, the 2nd Engineer Battalion. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you've completed your training and you're based at Camp Lejeune and so forth. What was your daily life like then? What did you do every day?
Oh, I went out and down by the beach and practiced with different kinds of water. Fresh water and salt water, just basically every day. That's all we did.
Okay. And then what did you do when you were off duty?
Oh, not much. Liberty didn't have a lot of money back then.
Now, was there a town near Camp Lejeune you could go into?
Yeah, Jacksonville. Yeah.
Okay. And how did they treat the Marines there?
They didn't treat them too good. They didn't like them. Most of the people.
Okay. Now, at the time that you joined the Marines, were they still segregated?
Yes.
Because you still had an all-white unit at that point. Now, when you're moving around off the base and so forth, did you notice that the society was segregated, that there were black people and white people?
Oh, yeah. And
what did you have any reaction to that, or just not worry about it?
Well, no, I didn't worry about it. They while I was in there a couple of years, I think they started bringing segregated troops. So I had a good black friend that was out of Detroit. And I come back one time we stopped down south there to get something to eat. And he said, I can serve you, but I won't serve him. And I said, well, then don't serve anybody, you know.
Right. So it was kind of something new for you.
Yeah,
This
it
guy
was.
was just another guy from Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So basically, were you figuring you had a fairly nice, quiet existence for a couple of years? And
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty quiet.
all right. And then at what point did you know you might be in trouble?
Well, I was in a movie one time on the base there, and they said, everybody back, they shut the movie off, said, everybody back to your base. You know, they called everybody back, and then they told us we're shipping out. I never even heard of Korea that they mentioned it, you know.
Okay. And do you remember roughly when that was?
I think of July.
Okay, so
July.
July 1950.
50, yeah.
Okay, so the war has broken out, and pretty quickly the call comes out after that. All
Yeah.
right, we're going to go send the Marines in because that's
Yeah.
what they do. All right. So what did they do with you at that point? Did you stay?
Well, we packed everything up. Then we wanted to send home, and they sent it home for us. Everything else, that sea bags, they went someplace else, and we just had fatigues and stuff. And then we took a train out to San Diego, and out there they issued us new stuff, and from there on we just been aboard ship.
All right. Now, at this point, were you still with your engineer unit, or had you been pulled out of that?
No, I was with it till you got to San Diego. Then I was pulled out, go to load sea rations. When I load sea rations, our company shipped out, so they put us in with an infantry outfit.
So the guys you trained with, you're not with anymore?
No anybody that's coming.
All right, but now they load you on a ship, and you're now with an infantry company. What was the sea voyage like?
Bad, because I get seasick. And it only took 16 days. But,
And what kind of ship were you on?
I think a troop ship, APA, I think it
Yeah,
was.
big troop ship.
Yeah.
All right. And then, did you get to spend time on deck, or did you just stay in the
well,
bunker?
you could walk around here pretty good. You could do what you wanted. Yeah.
Now, was the weather okay, or did it get stormy?
No, not there. It was pretty good
All right. Did you stay sick the whole time, or did
the whole time. Yeah, I was one of them guys that affected. A lot of them got sick, but
All right. Now, where did you land then when you got across the Pacific?
and we stopped at Kobe, Japan, and they refueled and stuff. Then they took us over to from there over to Inchon. We laid out there for a couple days, and then we went in after that.
All right. Now, what unit were you serving with now?
I was with the Easy Company, 2nd Battalion, 7th Marines.
All right. Okay. And so now did you actually have to go and climb down into landing craft to land at Inchon?
Yeah.
All right. Now, was the sea rougher there than what you had practiced in? Because they had big
No,
tides. And
they have a heck of a tide. The ships come in, and they got to get right out because otherwise they're standing high and dry. You know.
All right.
But they had a wall you had to climb over. The landing craft come up to this wall, and you climb over a wall there.
All right. Now, at the point when you landed, had the beach area already been cleared, or were you going in while you're still under fire?
Well, the 5th Marines went in first, so it was pretty easy going in at that time.
Okay.
But as we go in, and then you got a lot of fire.
All right. Can you kind of take us through that sort of first day? I mean, you land, you start moving inland. What happens to you?
We just keep moving. We're going to clear out Seoul, and we got to Seoul, and everything was battered down. Everything. Well, we left, went back to Inchon, got back on a ship, went around to Busan on the other side, and started our trip up to North Korea.
All right. So did you then march the length of Korea to get up there, or did they land?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Busan is way down in the south,
Yeah.
so you had to go
Oh, Inchon. Oh, no, we got Wusan.
Busan. Okay,
We went
yeah, okay.
all the way around the bottom.
Right, and then
up.
back up the other side.
Yeah,
Right. Okay,
Busan.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Now, and you land, and then you start advancing up into North Korea.
Yeah.
Now, as you were going forward, what was it like initially?
Well, we had a few skirmishes, but we didn't expect it. What we found when we got up to the Chosin Reservoir, you know.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have an idea of how long you were moving north? A few weeks, or?
No, I don't know. Probably a couple weeks or
Okay.
something like that.
Now, as you were moving north, what was the weather like? Do you remember that?
It wasn't too bad down on Luzon, but as you got north, it kept getting colder and colder.
Mm-hmm.
You got up in the mountains higher.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Now, the 7th Marines, where were you, if you're relative to the other units, were you in the front, on a flank, in the rear? Do you have an idea where you were?
No, well, the companies were, like we was Easy Company where we'd have a Dog Company on the left,
Mm-hmm.
Fox Company on the right,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep moving up in that order.
All right. And then, so at what point did things start to change? Because initially you're advancing, you're not having much trouble.
No, we got up down to Chosin Reservoir and we
Mm-hmm.
was digging in,
Right.
and that's when everything broke loose. Then it changed. We didn't know it, but we were outnumbered 15-1. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty hectic because they come like flies, and
Yeah. I mean, do you remember sort of the first kind of firefight you got into, or were you?
Oh yeah, but that was the south.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, initially, I guess, when you first come under fire, when you were moving north, how did you react to that? Did you know what to do, or?
I mean, nothing you can do to fire back, you know. It's just, yeah. I don't know. Usually, before you get in fire, they always bombarded you with mortars, something,
Mm-hmm.
trying to break you down. But a lot of firefights. As you got up there, they get small bands of troops. So
Mm-hmm. But those wouldn't last very long?
No, a couple hours maybe, you know.
And if you got into one of those, did you call in artillery, or did you just go forward by yourselves, or?
Well, we made an assault on one hill. We couldn't take it, and so then they called in aircraft, planes. They strafed the hill. And then we went up there pretty easy after that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, by the time you're up at the Chosin Reservoir, do you have still air support protecting you, or are you kind of on your own?
Well, it was probably on our own that night, because it's at night when they attack. They usually attack at night. They don't like to fight during the day. They attack at night.
All right. And so basically, you're dug into a defensive position, and they attacked you that night. Was that the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did your position hold?
No.
Okay. What happened?
I don't know. They overtook our machine gun and started firing back at us, so we had to start regrouping and go back the other way.
Mm-hmm.
General says we're not retreating, we're just fighting in another direction.
Yep.
You know.
All right. Now, at this point, were you a rifleman, or did you have a different weapon now?
I had a BAR.
Okay. And when did you get the BAR?
When I got San Diego, when I joined our outfit.
Okay.
Marines, yeah.
Now, did you get a chance to practice on it before you had to use it in
No.
combat?
No.
All right. Did you have any problems with it?
Yeah, they're hard. They get dirty real easy. They don't fire that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Outside of that, it worked all right.
Okay. Now, did any of the other guys going to show you how to clean it or maintain it, or you just
No.
figure it out yourself?
It's on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Now, So basically, so you've gotten up to the Chosin Reservoir area, the Chinese attack you at night, you have to pull back. Now, from there on out, over the next few weeks, what happens to you?
Well, they just keep pushing you back.
Mm-hmm.
And you're on the road, just keep moving back, and they're firing at you from the mountains and everything. That's about it.
Okay. Now, did your company have to either make any attacks or have to hold defensive positions?
Just the whole defense, that's it. You
Okay.
know.
Now, were the Chinese still coming at you when you did that?
Yeah,
Okay.
they were coming down the hills. They were firing artillery at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But soon after that, then my feet got frostbitten, and I had a wound in my back, so I got out of there from that point
How did they get you out?
by a plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they had an airfield someplace where they could.
I don't know where it come from, but yeah, they landed up. Yeah, they had it wasn't an airfield, probably just a strip they
Yeah.
landed on. Yeah.
Right. But they were able to fly you out.
Yeah.
And then where did they take you?
To Busan, I think.
Okay.
And they went out there. They took us out to a hospital ship,
Mm-hmm.
and there we went to Japan.
Okay.
I stayed in Japan for a couple weeks, then I was shipped us back to the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at that point, was there any? Now, what actual was? Did you just have frostbitten feet at that point, or?
Yeah.
All right. But they didn't want to send you back to Korea?
No, they wouldn't because of the weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they thought,
If you had a wound to heal, they'd send you back, but
Mhm.
you had frostbite, they wouldn't send you back.
Okay. So what did they do with you then? Now you go back to the States. Where do you go?
I went to Great Lakes, a hospital there,
Mhm.
stayed there for a couple months, and they asked you where you wanted to go, and you told them they'll give you a choice of duty for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Philadelphia, stayed there 6 months, and right back to Camp Lejeune.
What did you do in Philadelphia?
I was like an honor guard for the dead they brought back.
Mhm.
Put honors. That's basically all I did. Yeah.
Now, were the other guys you were with, were they other guys like you back from Korea, or were these World War II vets?
Yeah, then mostly guys come back from Korea.
Okay. And I don't know, how busy did that keep you?
I was on a pretty good, turning daily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And as you're back home, you're safe at this point, and these
Yeah.
guys are all coming back in boxes and so forth. I mean,
Yeah.
did that disturb you at all, or did you feel kind of guilty that you made it and they didn't?
Yeah, it does. It bothers you. You wonder how you got it out of. A lot of times, I wonder how you got out of there alive.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah. Now, what? To just think back a little bit to the time when you were in Korea. Did you see much of just the civilian population, or the villages, or the towns?
Well, I see them walking around.
Mhm.
Yeah, what they were just surviving, most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, were there refugees going with you when you were going south, or were you just by yourselves?
We're by ourselves. You know.
And did you ever see anything of the South Korean Army, the ROKs?
Not a lot. We had a couple interpreters that
Mhm.
we had with us. And that's it. But I didn't see the army much because we were on the go all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't really get to stay in one place and
No.
settle down at all. or
No,
anything while
no,
you were
he's
there.
on the go all the time.
All right. What did you think of the leaders that you had in your unit, the sergeants or the officers?
They're pretty good. I thought a lot of them.
Okay. Now, were some of those guys World War II vets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they sort of been through it before.
Yeah. And we had a lieutenant that went in Guadalcanal, I think, and he got a Navy Cross there. Korea, you got another one. He's a real good guy.
All right. So you spend your 6 months in Philadelphia, then you go back to Camp Lejeune. Now, do you go back to engineering or just other
Yep,
duties?
same place, water supply. Yeah, that's what MOS was for, water supply. That's where you stay.
All right. And then about how long were you there?
Till I got discharged.
So it was about a year or a year and a half?
Yeah, 2 years.
About 2 years.
You know.
All right. All right. Now, did they make any effort to have you stay in? Did they encourage you to stay, or
Oh, yeah.
what could they offer you?
I think at that time you realized for 6 years you get $6,000. Yeah. They want to re-list.
All right. If you kind of look over the time you spent in the Marines, are there particular moments or things that tend to come back to you, or particular experiences that stand out?
No. I try to put it all behind me. Yeah.
Okay. So you get out then, 1952. All right. What did you do after you got out?
I got different jobs, so I found one that I could, and I just from job to job till I got one that I liked.
And what job did you like?
Well, I didn't like any of them. No, I wound up working for a place that built baking equipment, ovens and stuff for big bakeries, Keebler and stuff. I stayed there till I retired.
Okay. All right, and you basically just came back to the Grand Rapids area and
Yeah.
kind of stayed there since then.
Yeah.
All right. What sort of effect do you think your time in the service had on you? Did it change you at all, or did you learn anything from it?
Yeah, didn't change that much. Hard to get used to civilian life again, but yeah, I was pretty happy. The time I spent in there wasn't that bad, except for Korea. Yeah.
And that part all moved fairly quickly from the sound of it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And I guess the other question would be, how good was the medical care when they were taking care, when they were treating you?
It was good, yeah. Really good.
Yeah, what could they do for frostbitten feet?
Well, if they didn't amputate them, they didn't do much. They just wrapped them up a little bit. That's it. You couldn't do much for them.
Did they make you walk around on them, or did they just have you lie in a bed?
Oh, you can walk on them.
Okay.
They're like numb. They stayed numb for a long time. The kid next to me was, his feet were black. Doc comes in and says, take them off in the morning, There was a lot of them. I was in the hospital with that, had legs taken off because of frostbite. And a lot of people lost their feet.
Now, when you were out in the field, did they try to give you any instructions on how to keep that from happening or prevent the frostbite?
No.
Okay.
We didn't even have the right clothes, We had the regular shoes until they got up in where the cold and they flew in these shoe packs or whatever you call them. But that's the first time or anything for our feet.
Okay. And did you get one of those?
Yeah.
Okay. So that may have helped keep your feet from getting worse than they did.
It didn't really. They were bad because they had the felt liners in them. And when you walk, you sweat, and when you stop, they froze. So,
Okay, so
yeah.
that didn't help so much.
No.
Now, did they get you any winter coats or anything like
Oh,
that?
yeah, finally. Big, like, hooded parkas. They're pretty good. Had a lot of clothes. But,
Now, did the weapons have problems when it got too cold? I mean, would they freeze or have other issues?
Machine guns they had a little problem with, but they usually work pretty good.
And I guess, how much did you actually physically see of the Chinese? I mean, were they close enough that?
Oh
they
yeah,
kind of right on top of you?
close enough. You could touch them when they come out through there. Yeah.
I mean, did you actually have to fight hand to hand when they were attacking you, or did you
No,
always
just try to get out of the way.
Yeah.
You know.
keep that distance? Yeah.
They come right on through. Some of them didn't even have weapons. They were just coming through.
And what impression of them did you have, or what did you think of them?
I didn't think much. I felt sorry for the dead ones because they're just kids, little like 12, 13 years old. They're really young.
Now, when they did come at you, I mean, did you notice what kind of weapons they had? Were they using American weapons, or?
No, they had. I see a lot of the weapons laying around. They're nothing like we had.
Okay. Because there were.
They had a weapon, though, that they could fire our ammunition through, but we couldn't use it. Theirs and ours, the difference of caliber. So.
Right. They used a slightly larger
Yeah.
caliber gun, and that was a standard Soviet thing to do. They did it to the Germans too.
Yeah. Yeah, they had older weapons than we had. Yeah.
Because I know that some of them were using American weapons that they had taken from the nationalist
right.
Chinese.
Yeah.
So some of them had M1s or that kind of
Well,
thing.
the ones he captured, yeah.
But you think the ones that you saw mostly probably had Soviet weapons or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, once you got out, did you get involved with any veterans organizations or groups like that?
Not right away. Probably about 15 years ago, I started joining.
I mean, did people who came back from Korea, I mean, did you ever talk to people about being in Korea or anything like that when you got back?
No, I keep it to myself. So.
And was anybody even interested?
Not many.
Now, did you join a VFW post or a Legion post, or?
Joined the Legion post first, then I joined the VFW.
And there would have been a lot of World War II guys in those?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did they treat the Korean guys?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they didn't tell you didn't fight a real war?
No. My granddaughter was over last night. She says, well, were you in the Vietnam War? I said, no. I was in the Korean War. She said, well, what's that? She never heard of it.
Right.
I said, you never heard of it in school? She said, no. So I give her a book to read on it.
Yeah, because it's we do call it the Forgotten War, and the fact is that we lost about the same number of men in Korea as we did in Vietnam, and in a much shorter period of time.
Yeah.
It was not a good time, and it's one that, I mean, it's important in a lot of ways in our history, but it's easy to lose track of. And in a high school history course, you're lucky if they spend a day on it.
Yeah, I was surprised she never heard of it. And I said, she said, why? Because I said, it's a forgotten war. And in a book I had happened to be about the forgotten war,
Right.
so I give it to her.
Right. Well, by doing this kind of thing and recording your story here, I mean, this goes into a permanent archive, and it's one opportunity for people a long time from now to learn at least something about what was going on and what happened to people who were in it.
Yeah.
So I'd just like to, I guess, close out here by thanking you for coming in and sharing your story today.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I never seen such desolation. I think we drove for a mile and there wasn't a building hardly standing.
Nobody knew what was going on. They called the situation fluid, but fluid means that nobody knew anything.
It was different. If I had done something else, I don't know what I would have done.